The readings for Thursday, March 23rd. The first Old Testament reading is from the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verses 14 through 22. Therefore, hear the word of the Lord, you afflicted men and rulers of this people in Jerusalem, because you said, we made a covenant with Hades, and are in agreement with death. And if the rushing storm passes through, it will not come upon us. For we made falsehood our hope, and in falsehood we shall be protected. Therefore, thus says the Lord, behold, I lay for the foundations of Zion a costly stone, a chosen and precious cornerstone for its foundations, and whoever believes in him will not be put to shame. I will also cause judgment to be for hope, and my mercy to be for a standard. The sudden blast of wind will not pass by you who trust vainly in falsehood, except it also take away your covenant of death. Your hope in Hades will not stand when the rushing storm passes through, for you will be beaten down by it. When it passes through, it will take you. For morning by morning it will pass through the day, and by night there will be an evil hope. Learn to listen, you in difficult straits. We cannot fight, and we ourselves are too weak to gather ourselves together. As the mountain of the ungodly will rise up and be in the valley of Gibeon, he will do his deeds in anger, a work of bitterness. His anger will behave strangely, and his bitterness will be strange. So do not be glad, neither let your hands become strong, because I heard from the Lord of hosts the things he will perform upon all the earth. All right, some footnotes from the Orthodox Study Bible. So for verse 16, as a cornerstone unites two walls, Christ will unite Jew and Gentile believers. See 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 6. And for verse 21, the reference is to the battle of Joshua against the Gibeonites, during which God destroyed the enemy with large hailstones. See Josiah chapter 10. The second Old Testament reading is from the book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 32, through chapter 11, verse 9. These were the tribes of Noah's sons, according to their genealogy, in their nations, and from these the coastal nations were divided on the earth after the flood. Now the whole earth was one language and one speech, and it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and dwelt there. Then they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and bake them with fire. And they had brick for stone and asphalt for mortar. They also said, come, let us build ourselves a city and a tower, whose top will reach to heaven, and let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower and the sons of men built. And the Lord said, indeed, the people are one race and one language, and they have begun to do what they said. Now they will not fail to accomplish what they have undertaken. Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, so they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from there, over the face of all the earth, and they ceased building the city and the tower. Therefore its name is called Babel, because there the Lord confused the languages of all the earth, and from there the Lord scattered them abroad over the face of all the earth. All right, some footnotes from the Orthodox Study Bible for this exact passage. Chapter 10, verse 32 through chapter 11, verse 9. It mentions that this passage is read during Thursday Vespers in the fourth week of Great Lent. For Well, that's it, I guess. I'd figured they might have more to say about how kind of Pentecost is the undoing of the Tower of Babel and so forth, but I highly recommend listening to the late now, God rest his soul, the late Dr. Michael Heiser, listening to his work. He's got a theory on post-Babel history, and it's underscoring through the Bible. Good stuff, but yep, that's going to be it for this reading. The third Old Testament reading is from Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 19, through chapter 14, verse 6. A rash king falls into evil things, but a faithful messenger rescues him. Instruction removes poverty and dishonor, and he who gives heed to rebukes will be glorified. The desires of the godly gladden the soul, but the works of the ungodly are far from knowledge. He who walks with the wise shall be wise, but he who walks with those without discernment will be known. Evil things shall pursue sinners, but good things will overtake the righteous. A good man will inherit sons of sons, but the wealth of the ungodly will be stored up for the righteous. The righteous shall live in wealth many years, but the unrighteous will be destroyed suddenly. He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him instructs him with care. A righteous man eats and satisfies his soul, but the souls of the ungodly are in want. Wise women build houses, but those without discernment destroy them with their hands. He who walks uprightly fears the Lord, but he who is crooked in his ways will be dishonored. From the mouth of a man without discernment comes a rod of arrogance, but the lips of wise men guard themselves. For there are no oxen, the stalls are clean, but where there are abundant crops, the strength of an ox is evident. A faithful witness does not lie, but an unrighteous witness kindles lies. You will seek wisdom in the company of evil men, and you will not find it. But perception is easily found with the discerning. All right. Some footnotes from the Orthodox Study Bible. First things first, as you already know, we got to hit this exact passage, chapter 13, verse 22, through chapter 14, verse 6. Although we started at 13:19, not 22. Once again, just a little case where this frequently happens where they don't line up, and I'm not sure why. But anyways, this passage is read during Thursday Vespers in the fourth week of Great Lent, which of course is today. For chapter 13, verse 20, instruction by wisdom removes the poverty and dishonor of a man caused by the deceptions of his own sin. For by this instruction, a man learns to correct and discipline himself with regard to these deceptions. And he who heeds wisdom's rebukes will be glorified by him. For verse 23, a sinner is sinful not by nature, but by the wrong use of his will. Evil things will overtake this wrong use, but good things overtake the righteous, because they obey wisdom, and with his help live according to their good nature. For chapter 13, verse 26, the rod is the gentle rod of rebuke, and the father who does not use it hates his own son. But he who loves his son educates him carefully in his natural and God-given virtues. For chapter 14, verse 1, wise women build up their families when they possess the general virtues of wisdom, discernment, righteousness, courage, and self-control. But those without discernment destroy them. For chapter 14, verse 3, a man without discernment is one who does not possess the general virtues of wisdom. Such a man is energized by arrogance. Thus he beats people with the harsh rod of his mouth. But the lips of wise men are self-controlled, because they possess the general virtues of wisdom. And for verse 6, evil men are evil not by nature, but by choice. They have chosen not to know wisdom and his instruction. Therefore, wisdom cannot be found among them. But perception and discernment are two aspects of the crown of the wise, for they choose to know wisdom and his instruction. Well, that's going to do it, everybody. Sorry for the late upload. Just having a hard time getting going today. Man, this job is like seriously the most mentally taxing, probably one of the most stressful jobs I think I've ever worked in my life. I just can't get into a rhythm. But never mind all that. I guess just keep me in your prayers. That I can keep chugging these out. You know, we're over halfway done at this point, so we're over the hill now. So hopefully you guys can stay with me each day for the rest of this year exercise. And I will catch back up with you for tomorrow, Friday's readings. Take care, everybody.